And in Caslow, you can hear us on the AM band, 860, around Vancouver, 88.1 FM, 690 on the AM band, too. And coming up, what you're entitled to when you lose your job. Fired without cause. More and more Canadians are losing their jobs because of the economic meltdown, obviously. And Chilwin Cheng is a Vancouver lawyer behind a new website that determines if you received a fair severance or not. And it just might help you land a better deal, too. And Chilwin is with me in the studio. Hi, Chilwin.
Hi there.
Fired Without Cause. It's the name of your website, too. And what got you thinking about this?
Well, I've been a lawyer for over a decade now, and I've done a lot of wrongful dismissal cases. And it's tough because at a time when people, I found, most need some legal advice, they often feel like they can least afford to get it. And as time went on, I've always had an entrepreneurial streak, and it came to a head last year. I was an in-house lawyer for a company here in town, and I was let go. And I had access to a lawyer myself, but I thought to myself, this is a perfect opportunity to put my business ideas to the test and say, wrongful dismissal advice is the kind of thing that can be accessible to people at a low cost if someone just kind of put it together right. And that's what I tried to do. And this is more about me losing my job, and it has nothing to do with maybe they're cutting back, for instance. It's without cause. Without cause.
Not necessarily wrongful dismissal, is it?
Well, so there's two kinds of dismissal. One is for cause, and one is without cause. So that, when you talk to a lawyer, those are the two basic headings. We deal with fired without cause. So that could be layoff, dismissal, mass severance.
You name it.
Okay. Even if you're not that great at your job, but it doesn't amount to cause and they let you go, that also falls under our category. And so firedwithoutcause.com is something that my business partner, Jim Hamlin, and I put together to make this information easy.
And how does it work? If I go to that site, what do you want me to do?
Sure. Well, you can get. We offer 4 things on our site. One is for free, a handbook, online handbook that takes you through everything that you need to know about wrongful dismissal. What is it about? The kind of basic information that you'd get from a lawyer or even a legal textbook if you went to the library. Second, we offer you a negotiation manual on how all the tactics and tricks and techniques that lawyers are taught in law school, and we offer that for free as well.
Insider information.
You got it. That's right. And a chance for people to understand the dynamic of what they need to know in order to approach their employer. What we do charge for, though, is our online calculator. And what you do is we ask you for things like your age, your length of notice, what kind of job that you've had, the level that you were within your organization. These are the kinds of variables which, for the past 50 years, 60 years almost, the courts in Canada have used to calculate what a severance might be for an employee, to determine what a reasonable notice is for an employee. And so with that reasonable notice, we've put together a huge database of cases assembled not by kind of Google spiders, but people, professionals reading these cases. Canadian cases all across Canada that are indexed according to those variables. And we match the best cases for you, which is exactly what a research lawyer would do. And then you can see, what's the minimum that a case similar to mine has had, what's the highest, what's an average, what's the most common. And it gives you an idea of, did what my employer give me, is it in the ballpark? And most of the time, that's all people really want to know, right?
And it cost me $40 to do that.
It costs you $40 to do that. And for $20 more, they can order some pre-written letters that imports that data from that report. And for those do-it-yourselfers, they can send that letter back to the employer. And their employer would go to their lawyer and say, well, what do you think? And the lawyer would say, I'd probably use the same cases.
You think that letter will have that power? Or will the lawyers just say, oh, they're not going to take us to court because it'll cost too much money?
That's a good point. What will probably happen is that if the company really wants to fight, they're going to fight anyways. But at least you know that you have the fight to make. And if you want, you can go to a lawyer of your choice and fight that if it's
and
you're not
doing that. This is no way for you to find
clients.
Right.
No, this is not a way for me to find clients. I don't. Right now, I'm it's spending a lot of time just getting the site ready. So I will let other people practice employment law. But this is a way for connecting people with information, empowering people with that. And if it's so, in the future, it'd be nice to be able to connect some lawyers with this for lawyers that also share the philosophy of accessible justice for Canadians. But right now, we're focused on the site.
Has it worked for anybody yet?
Absolutely. We've got a number of people who are paying customers, people who have tried out our site that have gotten some great advice from us. So, for example, we have one person in the computer industry in Alberta who was laid off from his work because of the recession, got 2 weeks of severance, used our calculator, found out he had 2 months on average of what his circumstances were, and decided it was a big enough difference that he went to see a lawyer to pursue it further. We had one woman who used our calculator as well, who also went to see a lawyer eventually, and she said that when she compared the letter that we generate compared to what her lawyer generated, they were pretty much the same letter. And we've had another person who said that they looked, a customer who wrote to us and said they used our service and they actually felt it was a bit that what they received was a bit on the low side, but not so low that they feel that they wanted to, pursue it any further. And if that helps people, empowers people, that confidence, that's our job is done.
You can find it on the web, firedwithoutcause.com. Chilwin, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Chilwin Cheng is a lawyer who developed this new website, firedwithoutcause.com. We have a link on our BC Almanac webpage as well. It's about 5 minutes before 1 here on CBC Radio One.